a broadcast network committed to serving you the very best in online and offline television programming. Situated in the serene environment of Guzape, Abuja FCT, TVN, as it is fondly called, caters to a wide variety of audience via carefully orchestrated mind-blowing programs in the areas of fashion, business, politics, entertainment, religion, movies, food and health, culture and lifestyle, events around the globe, sports and foreign news. Whatever your inclination, we've got you completely covered with programs like Issues of the Moment, The Patriot, Daybreak Nigeria, Matter Africa, TVN Business Time, Healthy Living, From the Cradle, Stay Inspired, Entertainment Gist, Movie Hour, Hits Paradise, among others. All designed to keep you thoroughly informed, entertained, at the edge of your seat and yearning for more. A tour around our domain will reveal a highly dedicated staff force and a state-of-the-art facility and equipment for high-definition quality broadcast, making our station your number one choice in advertising your business and propagating your ideas. We are currently on NightComSat doing our test transmission for takeoff in the nearest future. Television Nigerian is located in Nigeria at Television Nigerian House, Guzape Hilltop Mansion, beside Guzape White House, Guzape Abuja FCT, and in the United Kingdom at 45 Ancient House, 48 Aerodrome Road, Beaufort Park, Colindale, London. For inquiries,
Hello and many thanks for joining us on the program this morning. This is Daybreak Africa, reaching you live on Television Nigerian platform. And as always, from our Guzape Hilltop studios, right here in the city of Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory of Nigeria, I'm Aisha Salim.
And I am Priscilla Ajishala. Many thanks for joining us. It's a beautiful morning, and as usual, me and Aisha are seated, ready to give you the best dose on everything that's going to inform you, for you to go into the rest of your day feeling very informed and enlightened. Aisha, how have you been?
Well, I've just been there. Thing is, the weather these days is confusing. You know, we've been talking about the heat waves in the country, and then just yesterday, it rained again.
Exactly.
And then I was wondering, okay, is this rain going to help us with the heat? But I don't think it did much.
Well, personally, I like the idea of rain. It was nice, it was windy, and I think while it was raining, it was not hot. But afterwards, it got hot again, and I was wondering, okay. And then eventually at night it was hot, and towards the morning it got a little bit colder, and I was like, okay, so what's happening?
I don't know. I think the weather is a bit confusing.
Yeah, it is very, very confusing. But what can we do? I mean, weather is one of those things that we cannot actually explain completely, and it's something we cannot, we cannot plan or anything like that. We cannot control. So we're just going to have to take it the way it is.
Just like I saw in the news yesterday, according to some reports making the rounds in Lagos State, they're going to experience over 200 days of rain starting from March 19th. And then I'm wondering, okay, so if Lagos State is going to be flooded every day, like starting from March 19th, they're going to be experiencing rainfall, how are they going to manage? Now, they're still battling the whole keke ban, tricycle ban, and then rain. They're already predicting rainfall for a couple of days, for months.
I don't think this is the first time Lagos State has had to deal with rain situation. Right. I think they are quite used to it. I think they'll find a way around it. I mean, Lagos State has the biggest hustlers in Nigeria. So if they can't deal with the rain, then they should just go home.
Well, right. I was still talking about Lagos State. Just yesterday, Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu said that concerted efforts must be taken to stop the abuse of the use of bridges in Lagos to avoid disaster. Yesterday, Bajide Sanwo-Olu actually came in the news and talked about the abuse of the use of the bridges in Lagos State, and one portion of the bridge has been, has been shut down. No movement because they want to repair that portion of the bridge. And then he also talked about how people abuse the use of the bridge, because for the longest time, if you've been to Lagos, you'd see that the way people use that bridge, they do not really care. They litter the bridge, and then maybe they drive roughly on the bridge, recklessly on the bridge, and this bridge, it wears off at times.
Exactly.
So if you're not careful with the use of the bridge, and then this bridge, it has been put there for the benefit for others to use, for everybody to use, the lots of Lagosians to use. So if you're not careful and you keep using it the way you like, and it keeps wearing out, you'd recall the other day, Daria Talade actually raised an alarm, asking the state government to look into the pothole, the manhole on the bridge. So
now that is scary. Imagine, the bridge is literally lifted, like it is high up there, and then imagine a pothole. At some point, you start seeing what's going on down. It doesn't make any sense. And fact is, generally, I feel like all over Nigeria, people don't really know how to use bridges, because it's not just in Lagos State. You notice that even in other parts of Nigeria, they have situations like that, and a lot of people don't even, especially these pedestrian bridges, people hardly use them. People still go and cross the road instead of using those bridges. So generally,
and then when they now want to use the bridges, they use them recklessly, with reckless abandon, forgetting that these are infrastructures that government have put in place for our own use, for our own purpose. So if we're not using it the way we ought to use them, and then tomorrow we could come out to complain that maybe the government there's no maintenance policy, but it depends on your own attitude towards the use of that particular infrastructure.
Exactly.
So I guess Lagosians have to take note of that, and then be very mindful of their use of the bridge. Definitely. And although the bridge is under construction and it has been shut down, I hope they finish up with that work and open it soon enough, because we cannot take the fact that they need to use that bridge.
Exactly.
Well, moving on to another serious issue. The Consulate General of Nigeria in New York, United States, has suspended emergency passport services due to shortage of old booklets. This one is actually a bit funny, right? Because I remember when I went to the immigration office sometime last year. I applied for international passport, and then they kept on saying there's shortage of booklet, and now we're seeing it even in New York. The consulate there, shortage of old booklet. Although this one is coming out as a result of the new booklet that has been issued out, the new passport. But then I feel we shouldn't be, at this age and era that we're in at this time, we shouldn't be recording the issue of old booklets, shortage of old booklets, so because of that they can't issue passports.
I don't understand this particular, because I feel like, okay, you're saying shortage of booklets. What does it take to make these booklets exactly? Is it so hard? Are they so like, I don't really think this should be a big deal. I feel like there's actually people whose jobs are to make those booklets available. So what is it? Is it that there's a percentage they produce every year, or what? Because I feel like generally if they're noticing that they're getting short on booklets, they could just go back and do more, right? Right. It just makes sense.
Well, we'd have to go over to headline news to get ourselves familiar with the news making the rounds. Stay with us. If you're just joining in, this is Daybreak Africa, reaching you live on television Nigeria. And we did see some of the news making the rounds and the headline news.
Exactly.
And one very one that caught my attention there is the ASU strike. The 2 weeks warning strike by the Academic Staff Union of Universities in Nigeria. And it's appalling to hear that at this age and time, ASU is still going on strike because they are unable to reach a common ground with the federal government.
Exactly.
And now I saw in the news just yesterday as well that the federal government coming out to say the strike action is illegal, it's unallowed, it's unacceptable for them to go ahead and go on a 2 weeks warning strike. And then ASU is also threatening that if their demands are not met, because they are seeking university autonomy, they do not want to be under the IPPIS, they claim they have their own accountability platform. And then, but the federal government is saying, if we must pay you your salaries as a worker for the federal government, you must be under the IPPIS, you must be accountable for any money you're going to take. But then, lecturers are saying no.
Yeah.
They're not accepting that.
And for some time now, we've not recorded any strike from us. I actually thought that this whole strike thing was over.
Right.
You know, I thought we've come to a place where, okay, yes, there's balance. We're not going to be, but this one is becoming more serious because the federal government is saying that it is illegal. ASU are coming out and threatening, they're not finding common ground. I just hope they can find a way to balance this, because fact is a lot of students are already complaining, because they're like, lecturers are not coming into class and all of that.
Right.
So yeah, it doesn't make any sense at all.
It doesn't. For 2 weeks, that's a long time. And then we do not even know if after 2 weeks they're going to come back to class.
Remember before now, we used to have months and months of strike, and it used to take a very, 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 very big toll on education and academics and all of that for the tertiary institutions, and it's just wrong, honestly.
Right. It is. Well, you were telling me about an analysis.
Yes. Personally, this one shook me somehow, but it's actually about Tom Hanks and his wife Rita Wilson. They were recently diagnosed to have coronavirus. They were actually in Australia prepping for a movie when they started feeling feverish and all of that, and after a few tests they found that they had coronavirus. Tom Hanks is actually an award-winning actor, and his wife is an actress as well. And then now they are being quarantined and everything, and he made this known via Twitter, and he said that he will keep everybody posted on whatever happens. I'm a little bit scared because these two, I don't know about their medical history, but I know that they're at least 63 years old, both of them. So I know that this is, we've been hearing a lot about coronavirus, being, even being more like, it's more dangerous when it comes to people that are, older, and people that are, sick and people that are like children and all of that. So yeah, it's actually
it's even scary. Strange and scary how fast this coronavirus spreads. About 11 African countries recorded so far.
Yeah, it's in every continent in the world except Antarctica.
Right.
That is mind blowing. That is just mind blowing. And
it's in the Middle East, it's in Africa, it's in Europe, and I'm wondering.
I mean, it's now a pandemic.
Right. The World Health Organization said it yesterday that it's a pandemic. It's more like it has been declared a pandemic.
Yeah.
So we should all know that
over 4,000 people have died from coronavirus, and I'm confused.
Right.
Like last year there was nothing like this. To think that we're in the 3rd month of January and we're already struggling with something like this, it's just crazy.
Something that's affecting the lots of people in the world. It's crazy. It's indeed crazy, and then it's pathetic. It's appalling as well, because just yesterday we saw in the news that it's even affecting football. For the lovers of the football game, it's affecting them, because now Arsenal players have been forced to go under quarantine because they came in contact with some people who have been confirmed to have the virus. And then I'm wondering, okay, so if Arsenal is not playing, and then how is it going to affect the whole? How is the whole English Premier League
matches
thing?
now are not even played in stadiums anymore. Like, we don't have fans all over the place, because we cannot manage such public gatherings with, this whole coronavirus situation.
And Italy is shut down.
The whole of Italy.
Just yesterday, even this talk show host, this lady that is always on Nicki Minaj's neck.
Oh,
she talked about how she's not going to continue live recording of audience anymore, because you cannot have audience in the room and then I'm talking about Wendy Williams. You cannot have audience in the studio and then you're recording these people. You do not know who have coronavirus or not. So it's better she said she's just going to do it like solely just herself. It's not the regular talk show that she has. She has live audience and then they record.
Well, that's actually quite interesting, because if you think about it, okay, so coronavirus is now like is the biggest thing right now all over the world. And then the fact is, if we don't take these precautionary measures, then talking about Italy, for instance, I don't know how Italy got to this point, honestly, because for the longest time it was China, right? And now Italy is even more in the forefront when it comes to coronavirus than China, where it was supposedly originated and everything. So I don't know. I just feel like we should learn from a country like Italy. I mean, they have their own infrastructure and everything. I feel like generally in Nigeria we should be more careful as well. And in all parts of the world, everybody should, I like the fact that people are making conscious efforts in that regard.
Well, the thing is, it's sad. It's really sad, but we cannot overemphasize the whole coronavirus outbreak in the world. So we can only call on the general public to ensure the safety measures are put in place, just so you prevent contracting the disease.
Exactly.
Well, let us move over to News Across Africa now, where we get details of what's happening in and around the African continent. Stay with us.
Welcome to News Across Africa on Daybreak Africa. A South African court has cleared President Cyril Ramaphosa of allegation that he misled Parliament about the funding of his campaign to become the leader of the ruling National Congress Party. Ramaphosa had been accused by the country's public watchdog of misleading lawmakers about a $34,000 contribution from the CEO of a local company, Africa Global Operations, formerly known as Bosasa. The Pretoria High Court Tuesday dismissed the watchdog's report, which is a boost for Ramaphosa, who became president on the promises to rid South Africa of corruption. Kenya has sought Ethiopian contribution to resolve the issues along its common border with Somalia. The rift recently resulted in Kenya warning her neighbor to desist from acts that bordered on threatening its territorial integrity. Representing President Uhuru Kenyatta, Kenya's Minister of Interior on Wednesday met with Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed in Addis Ababa. Fred Matiang'i has hosted the Somali leader on a number of occasions and has attempted mediation of a maritime rift between the two neighbors. The case is to be decided by the International Court of Justice later this year. Authorities in the Democratic Republic of Congo have confirmed the first case of coronavirus in the country. The patient, according to reports, is a Belgian national who had been under quarantine at the main airport in the capital, Kinshasa. The country had, as at last weekend, started implementing a compulsory quarantine for nationals from 3 virus-infected countries. 2 journalists in Ethiopia have been suspended by the state-owned news agency for publishing a Photoshop image of the Prime Minister and his wife in a bedroom. The doctored image shows Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed lying on the floor covered with a duvet, while his wife, Zinash Tayachu, is on a nearby bed smiling. The image has been trending on social media in Ethiopia since it was published on Monday in an article about the timetable for elections expected in August. The Ethiopian press agency pulled down the picture immediately and apologized. Burundi's former president Domitien Ndayizeye is challenging a decision by the Electoral Commission to ban him from running in May's presidential election. The 61-year-old said he submitted his papers with 208 nominations, 8 more than required. Mr. Ndayizeye served as president from 2003 to 2005, a critical time when peace agreements were signed to end more than a decade of civil war. Guinea has delayed a controversial referendum for a second time. President Alpha Conde initially delayed it last month, saying there would be a slight postponement because of concern about the fairness of the process. Voters were also due to elect members of parliament this coming Sunday, but the Electoral Commission said there had to be another postponement as it was awaiting a report from the West African. Ghanaian public officials and Gabonese have been temporarily banned from traveling out of their countries in measures to prevent the spread of coronavirus. Ghana's President Nana Akufo-Addo temporarily suspended foreign travel through a letter issued by his chief of staff in Accra. Akuso-Afrima Osei letter stated that only essential and critical trips by public officials will be considered and approved. In Gabon, the parliamentary speaker, Faustin Bukubi has suspended all foreign trips by Member of Parliament. In a memo sent to legislator, the Speaker said all travel on behalf of the Assembly had been suspended until further notice. Now that is the much we have for you on News Across Africa. Daybreak Africa will continue shortly.
Welcome back. This is still Daybreak Africa on Television Nigeria, and we're still talking a lot about everything happening in Nigeria and in Africa. And now I'm particularly talking about Africa. And personally, what got my attention was this whole situation with Gabon and Ghana cancelling international trips because of coronavirus. Although I think it makes sense that, unless these public officials have very important, very, very important and very, very necessary things to do outside the country, then you should probably stay.
Of course, you should just stay in your country, because we have 11 countries already infected by the outbreak of the coronavirus, the COVID-19. So we can, if Nigeria were to, if Nigeria had not recorded anything like this, now maybe would have taken the same measure that
Ghana and Gabon. But we can still take the same
taken.
measure, because now we have 2 confirmed cases and we have over 100 people quarantined because people that got in contact with the very first. And then the fact is, we cannot be over conscious or make too much effort. There's no such thing as too much effort. So if we do it makes sense for us to insist on something like this. I think it makes a lot of sense.
Another one that caught my attention there is that of the Democratic Republic of Congo recording its first case of the coronavirus outbreak. And this one was as a result of a Belgian national who came into the country, and although he's under quarantine in Kinshasa. But my point here is the fact that this virus is coming into Africa, about 11 countries already. Although I saw some foreign reports where they're saying it's still surprising, alarming that Africa has not recorded many cases. Many cases. Recorded deaths. So it's actually really surprising, because anyways, I don't know, are we immune to this virus?
Well, personally, I'm just hoping it continues like this. I hope, no matter what happens, we can handle ourselves. And yes, we continue, in this place where the world is still wondering what's happening and all of that.
But then again, I feel we should actually promote the recoveries. For the longest time, the only thing we keep hearing in the media is just death. We're not hearing, the people who have recovered, even if we hear them, they do not really make the rounds as much as the people who have died. I think we should talk more on the people who have recovered and what they did, how they got treated, how they recovered eventually, and not more on the people dying. Because if you keep talking about the people that have died, although as much as it is necessary for us to give out the information of the people who have died so far, or people who have been infected, or the countries that have been infected, or people who are under quarantine, we also have to talk about the recoveries to give people some iota of hope that coronavirus, even if it's claiming lives according to reports, it has there are measures, it has treatment as well, and then some people have recovered so far. So.
Yeah, we just know that it's actually it's easier for someone who's very, very healthy and young, to after a while recover than for older people and very young children. Generally, people that have underlying health conditions. So I think right now we should all be eating very healthy, so that even if it gets to a point where there's coronavirus outbreak somewhere around where you're at, least you know that you're very, very healthy, and you just make sure that you're doing everything right. So people should make a conscious effort to eat healthy.
Another African story that caught my attention is that Ethiopian journalists, the 2 Ethiopian journalists that went and photoshopped pictures of the Prime Minister. I think it's not a good image. It doesn't speak well of journalism. You do not go ahead and Photoshop.
But the picture was obviously photoshopped, and it was super funny.
And then to think that it was even published, is it not funny?
I honestly don't know. Maybe they're trying to make a joke or something.
No, I think you see, this is what we keep talking about: fake news and
Yeah.
then propaganda, promoting what's not right. The media is the eye. The media is one particular platform space where we get the information out to people, and that if you're not providing information that is accurate or that has gone through scrutiny to show that there's accuracy in this particular information, you cannot go about spreading falsehood, misleading the people, the lots of people. Now they now have to come out and start apologizing.
Yeah, taking it down. Even though it was still funny.
I think they're
laughed
facing
my ass
suspension
out.
again. Okay, so we're still talking about coronavirus,
Yeah.
but we'll have to go on a quick break. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Coronaviruses are a large group of viruses. They consist of a core of genetic material surrounded by an envelope with protein spikes. This gives it the appearance of a crown. Crown in Latin is called corona, and that's how these viruses get their name. There are different types of coronaviruses that cause respiratory and sometimes gastrointestinal symptoms. Respiratory disease can range from the common cold to pneumonia, and in most people, the symptoms tend to be mild. However, there are some types of coronaviruses that can cause severe disease. These include the severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus, first identified in China in 2003, and the Middle East respiratory syndrome coronavirus that was first identified in Saudi Arabia in 2012. The 2019 novel coronavirus was first identified in China. It initially occurred in a group of people with pneumonia who'd been associated with a seafood and live animal market in the city of Wuhan. The disease has since spread from those who were sick to others, including family members and healthcare staff. There are many cases at present, and the disease has spread within China and also to a number of other countries. So, where did the virus come from? It's known that coronaviruses circulate in a range of animals. Sometimes these viruses can make the jump from animals to humans. This is called a spillover and could be due to a range of factors such as mutations in the virus or increased contact between humans and animals. For example, MERS-CoV is known to be transmitted from camels and SARS-CoV from civet cats. The animal reservoir of the 2019 novel coronavirus is not known yet. How is it transmitted? The exact dynamics of how the virus is transmitted is yet to be determined. In general, respiratory viruses are usually transmitted through droplets created when an infected person coughs or sneezes, or through something that has been contaminated with the virus. People most at risk of infection from the novel coronavirus are those in close contact with animals, such as live animal market workers, and those who are caring for people infected with the virus, such as family members or healthcare workers. So, how does the disease present? Well, from what is known so far, there can be a number of symptoms ranging from mild to severe. There can be fever and respiratory symptoms such as cough and shortness of breath. In more severe cases, there's been pneumonia, kidney failure, and death. The mortality rate is not known yet. How can we tell whether someone is infected? The infection can be diagnosed by a test called PCR, or polymerase chain reaction. This test identifies the virus based on its genetic fingerprint. There's currently no specific medication for the virus, and treatment is supportive care. There's currently no vaccine to protect against the virus. Treatment and vaccines are in development. How do we prevent transmission of the virus? This new virus currently has a limited geographic spread. However, there are a number of standard hygiene practices that have been recommended to protect against infection and further spread. These include covering your mouth and nose when coughing or sneezing with a medical mask, tissue, or flexed elbow, avoiding close contact with those who are unwell, the appropriate use of masks and personal protective equipment, especially in a healthcare setting, washing hands regularly with soap and water or alcohol-based hand rub. Actions that can be taken to prevent infection from an animal source include avoiding unnecessary unprotected contact with animals, washing hands after contact with animals or animal products, and ensuring that animal products are cooked thoroughly before they're consumed. It's important to stay home if you're feeling unwell, but if you have a fever, cough, and difficulty breathing, seek medical care early and share your previous travel history with your healthcare provider.
Well, welcome back. This is still Daybreak Africa on television, Nigerian, and Aisha is still here, and we're still trying to raise as much awareness as possible about coronavirus. And the fact is, you can do as much as you can and make sure people around you do as much as they can. Make sure you're conscious about your health and you protect yourself, because truth is, the government cannot do everything. You have to play a part, which is protecting yourself and your family members. Well, at this point, we're still talking about being healthy and all of that, which is very, very important. And we're moving on to healthy living, where we're going to be talking about herbs. So do stay tuned. This is Daybreak Africa.
The primary and best known function of kidneys is to filter blood and excrete liquid waste. Hello and thanks for joining us on another episode of Healthy Living on Daybreak Africa. Today we shall be discussing on best herbs for natural kidney cleansing. Your kidney do a lot of important jobs, and if you don't keep them healthy, it puts you at risk of dangerous conditions like renal failure or kidney cancer. But they do a lot more than that. Kidney help control your blood pressure because they require an optimal pressure level to do their work. That means that kidneys are able to either raise or lower blood pressures as needed via a hormone called renin that constrains blood vessels. Eating lots of healthy food and staying well hydrated is most important. After that, there are certain herbs that kidneys love. Here are 4 shocking easy food to get, but you probably never thought of eating it before. Garlic. Garlic has a protective effect on your kidney and other organs. Regular consumption has been found to lower the concentration of lead and cadmium in kidney, heart, liver, spleen, and bloodstream. Garlic also has diuretic properties that help you eliminate excess sodium from your body. And not only that, but allicin, the active ingredient in garlic, has anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, and antifungal properties. It greatly assists your kidneys in cleansing and filtering blood of harmful invaders. Turmeric. One of word of caution applies to people who already have kidney disease. Turmeric contains a fair amount of potassium, which normally works in partnership with sodium to regulate the body fluid level. Kidney disease makes it difficult for kidneys to keep potassium in balance, so sufferers are often asked to limit their intake of it. Ginger. Long used in holistic medicine, ginger contains a compound used gingerol that is best known to inhibit the spread of bacteria. This can be helpful to overworked kidneys and liver. Gingerol is also an effective means of support for healthy digestion, and it reduces inflammation and pain all over the body. Chronic high blood pressure has a damaging effect of the kidney, and some studies suggest that powdered ginger can help control it. For this reason, regular ginger consumption is thought to reduce the incidence of kidney complications in people with diabetes. In healthy people, ginger may prevent the development of diabetes at all. Cranberries. Cranberries are awesome fruits to add to most any diet, even a low potassium kidney diet. They are recommended for people with bladder infection because cranberries contain a type of fish stool nutrient which stop bacteria from sticking to the lining of your urinary tract and kidneys. People with kidney disease have a higher incidence of urinary tract infection, and cranberries are a useful addition to their daily diet because they are also low in sodium, phosphorus, and of course, potassium. Kidneys are small organs that play a vital role in keeping you healthy. They are part of your urinary tract and work to filter your blood. What they filter out is passed out as urine. If you have ever had a kidney stone, you are well aware of your kidneys. Passing a stone has been likened to giving birth, but it's no fun. And that's the much we have for you today on Healthy Living on Daybreak Africa. I am Chiwendu Osisiago. Daybreak Africa continues shortly.
Welcome back.
You're just joining in. This is still Daybreak Africa, and that was Healthy Living on how best to protect your kidney with the use of herbs and some natural remedies. I saw garlic, ginger, turmeric, cranberry, and then I was wondering, do you think that I do not really like garlic?
I don't like garlic, but I love ginger. I love ginger in anything: food, soup, tea. I've even tried ginger and pap.
Wow,
And I
ginger
love
and
it.
pap.
Yeah.
How did you do that?
Well, it's too. I don't think I have. You have the time. Or we have the time. Maybe after this, then I'll explain it. Because just thinking of the process and the procedure,
Wow.
it's a lot.
But then again, I think that for the turmeric, my mom always calls me to tell me, "Have you gotten the turmeric I asked you to get?"
Yeah,
I'm
turmeric
wondering,
is good.
Why is mom always particular
Yeah,
about
about
turmeric?
turmeric.
To think that it's good for cleansing the kidney. You see, turmeric, garlic, ginger. I think ginger, some people use it as spice in cooking.
Exactly.
So,
Turmeric, a lot of people use it on their skin. So yes, all these things are very, very important.
and then we keep putting money in orthodox drugs, or some people going for surgeries, without knowing that merely using these natural remedies, you can actually save yourself a lot of money and then
And
stress. Well, we're still talking about how best to prevent ourselves from coronavirus, and then we talked about the kidney, how to protect your kidney from disease. But now we're moving away from health, because we cannot overemphasize the importance of health. And if you give us time, we'll keep talking about health, because it is key, it is pertinent to take care of one's health. But now we're moving over to a community report on the underground shopping mall right here in Abuja. Stay with us.
It is believed that when you put Nigerians anywhere, they survive. Behind me is the Wuse Zone 5 bridge, and just under the bridge you could see that there are shops, lock-up shops owned by persons, and they are rented out to people to do businesses, that is to do small-scale businesses with. Now I'm here to find out how these people are faring, being that this market here is actually an extension of the major market, which is the Wuse Zone 5 market.
Whether government is here, government is not here, or whether government is helping you or not. By the grace of God, here we survive by our handwork, and we are not discouraged by any other thing.
The major challenges faced by those who work in the subway business and shopping centers include power, high rent, low patronage, and being subjected to harassment in the very hands of the public officers who should ensure they are properly catered for.
We pay rent, we pay environmental, we pay all those things, revenue, no customer coming in. Because all those things drive customer away. Like now, we don't have light. Sometimes you can use 2-3 days. We cannot have light here. It's a challenge for us. That's why it makes us something difficult from this place.
Even though you are under the bridge, you are inside the bridge or below the bridge, you have to pay. Even some people that they are not under the bridge, they still pay. So we pay. And the rent is like, it depends on individual. Like here now, we pay from 250, 300.
Sunlight, because this place, the sun did not penetrate into this place. Maybe that's the only challenges I think they're having in this place.
They called on the federal government to come to their aid, as many of them are graduates who, due to lack of job opportunities, decided to embark on the journey of entrepreneurship to make ends meet.
To look issue of NEPA and our economy to improve is so down. Let us tell ourselves true, because we are saying economy is growing, it's not growing.
While we promote made in Nigerian products, necessary amenities like power, water, and a whole lot of them to support these young entrepreneurs need to be put in place. They call on the government to support them as they make Nigerian brands stand out in the world.
Well, we're still talking about entrepreneurship in the country and how best people can diversify the economy, not necessarily waiting for government to come to their aid or for government to give them jobs. But this very one is about the situation they're encountering with regards to how they are managing their businesses.
Exactly.
You saw some people under the bridge there, they have shops. I saw some barbers, some hairdressers, some people who are tailors, and then you'd know that this youth, they are ready to explore, they're ready to do something with their own hands, not necessarily waiting for the government. They're ready to render services, give goods out for people to buy, and then they make their own money. But as it is now, they're calling on the government to come to their aid. In a situation where there is no sufficient power, government should endeavor to come to their aid. When they need water, water should be provided. When they need road or accessibility, just something that would ease the business. Well, I think it's a good one for them to call on the government to do that.
I like the fact that they're not waiting on the government, they're doing something, and it's very, very important for people to know that the government cannot do everything for you. You have to make a conscious effort to do something. And then the fact is, some of these infrastructure that they need and they're calling on the government, it actually makes sense because that is the role of the government.
To think that it's in the heart of Abuja, it's in Wuse there.
Wuse,
Who would even
exactly.
think there is something like that in Wuse, Abuja here?
Yeah, I feel
Wuse
like
is
there's-
one big place in
Exactly.
Abuja.
I feel like there's a lot of communities that people don't really know about or don't know as much about in Abuja. And that takes us to this community report on Sumarok community. I'm sure a lot of you have heard about Sumarok, but this particular report is about Sumarok community. Do stay tuned. We will be right back.
One beautiful thing about nature are those gifts we get freely, like the spectacular Zuma Rock with the monolith human face, which is just behind me. Zuma Rock is found along Zuba-Kaduna Expressway. There have been so many strange stories about Zuma Rock, but today we are here to find out if those stories are true. Come along.
Zuma Rock, the monolithic instable with a human face, is located in Madanla, Niger State, to the north of Abuja. It was once described as the unquestionable watchman of the FCT, with its sandy consignment that hangs like a hazard over Zuba town. The other mountains in and around it stay a considerable distance from it, which the Zuba people see as a form of respect being paid by the other mountains to Zuma Rock for its royal presence in the locality. It is impossible for visitors and tourists who come to Abuja not to see the magnificent structure, as it has always been a center of attraction for them. Although it is located at Madanla, Niger State, it has over time become a major symbol of Abuja landscape due to its close proximity to the city center. Behind the rock is a Zuma Rock Nigerian village, which was built to accommodate tourists visiting the rock, but due to underdevelopment, the place has been abandoned. History has it that Zuma Rock was first located in the thick forest by the people of Zuba and the Kuru in the 18th century when they settled around the rock. The Zuma people named the rock Zumwan, which means the place of catching guinea fowl. Thus, the name Zuma was derived from this name. On getting to the forest, they settled within a mile radius around it and constructed a group of settlements. On discovering that the rock had strong spirit, they worshipped it, offered constant sacrifice, and organized festival in honor of the rock. thus within its environment. This rock is regarded as the strongest idol both of its size and strong spirit. Over time, it has been used for defensive purpose by the Gwari natives against invading neighboring tribes. Zuma Rock inhabits a village close to it called Kudu Nasarawa. The residents of the community spoke highly about the rock and how the rock being around them has given them comfort that every other story being said about the rock are false.
My grandfather was the first person to live in this community, and which today my father is the chief of Dakwa. Yeah.
So who are the first people? What language?
Gbagi by tribe.
Okay, that means everybody here are Gbagis.
Everybody are Gbagi, but we now have a stranger, different language now. But we in the indigenous Gbagi by tribe.
About this Zuma Rock is a friendly rock. Because our children used to go there and play. Nothing happened to them on this rock. Even my children used to follow them to the rock, play, come back, there is peace. We don't have anything here.
You know, in that area, sometimes some people will go and kill people in other places. They will now bring their dead body to throw them away there.
So, you see our community, development not there, because people are fear for this, what in the call White House. Some people are talking about the bad issue about this thing. Since I stay here for 3 years, I never see anything happen with this place.
When they asked about the White House, which has been there for over 20 years, still not completed, and many has said is due to the rock being close to it, they gave a different opinion concerning the White House.
Maybe the hotel or the owner of the hotel has a problem with the rock, I don't know. But anytime they complete that hotel, you see all the glass will fall out. All the glasses will fall out. That's why they abandoned the hotel.
For how many years?
I say 1989 to Abuja. When Abuja is in Suleja.
When I'm here, some years, that's the glass used to fall down. But I've never heard about any bad incident there. Even some children in this community used to go to that place and wash clothes, play, and come back home. Nothing evil there.
You know, some children, they are playing inside. And anytime, if you enter, even now as you interview me, you just enter the place now, you see people inside. Nothing happened with this house or this kind of thing.
Yes, everybody's saying that. So what about the White House that's there?
The White House, honestly, that White House, the only that I will tell you, at times, with like 2 weeks, they used to find some criminals over there. And people that are kidnapped, one day they will say it's around that place again, in that White House. At times people used to run away and hide in there.
Okay, there's a particular water that they say it has been there for years.
There's water there.
What's the force behind the water? Because
honestly, I can't tell you. I can't tell you. It's behind my reputation. Because there is spiritual problem.
And here comes another side of the story from the same community, which gives a different view concerning Zuma Rock, and it seems confusing.
The issue of the rock and the White House is true. It's not rumors. Like 2 weeks ago, they kidnapped more than 20 people around that rock. 1 week ago, they kidnapped like 3 to 6 people over there. And every day, what we find with dead body. Like 3 days, they rob around there. And we still have police soldier checking point there. Midnight they rob, they kidnap people, love there. And if you find that you see soldiers there, there are soldier checking point. And all these things still go on. And every blessing day, we don't used to have peace because of that place.
What are the things that happen?
A time you can just find people are running around from there to here. Criminal, kidnapper, look at dead body. A lot of challenge over there.
So are you trying to say that there's spiritual forces in that?
There are spiritual forces there. It's not, I'm trying to say, this is what is happening there.
Residents of Kudu Nasarawa spoke concerning the challenges they have been facing and called on the government to come to their aid.
Challenges are road, first, water, we don't have water, light, we don't have light here.
No, we don't have water because even in my place here, last time I called a surveyor. They now come and survey the area. They say the water is not much. We just only used to go to across all this place to get water.
And it's safe for you?
Yes.
I'm Zoeva Hamza, TVN News.
Well, Zoera Hamza out there with the Zuma Rock report. And then the mystery surrounding Zuma Rock.
Exactly.
Every day we keep hearing some stories. Some people saying it's safe, other people saying it's not that safe.
A lot of people have some kind of beliefs about the rock. You know, the fact that it's shaped like a face. And a lot of people say, you know, it has some mysteries behind it. There's some powers behind it. And then the fact that they're always finding dead bodies around that area always makes it get even worse, because a lot of people are like, it's not safe out there. There's people that kill people out there.
And then the one that even caught my attention is the White House that is located around that region. And then it has been there for the longest time, and it has not been completed, because whenever they try to complete it, the glasses fall off or something terrible happens. There is mystery.
That is very, very big mystery. And honestly, I don't really like talking about things like this, because I feel like sometimes they make you question what your own beliefs and your own.
Although the people living in the community also stress the fact that their children go about the area to play, and I think the fact that they live there, they are from there. They're used to the community, but people who are not really from there come around, and then maybe they are the ones who experience these strange things or something. But well, that was Zuma Rock, and I like the location. It's in a strategic location. When you're exiting Abuja, going to Niger or Kaduna, you get to see Zuma Rock staring at you in the face, especially with a human face.
Exactly, another face looking at you, you're like, wow.
And I don't forget that it's also in our Naira notes, the 100 Naira, the currency notes, the 100 Naira.
Exactly.
So every day you get to see Zuma Rock.
Yeah, and in some way it's a
like
monument. So yes, there's the fact is Zuma Rock has come to stay.
Well, okay. I guess at this juncture, we'd have to draw the curtains here.
Exactly.
We've been here all morning, chilling, and also dishing out information to lots of you out there watching us. But right now, we'd have to draw the curtains here, and we do hope to come your way tomorrow, bright and early, on this same platform, Television Nigerian, and of course on your favorite breakfast show, Daybreak Africa, to bring you up to speed on what's happening in Nigeria and other parts of the African continent, and also the world in general. But do not forget to stay safe out there. Coronavirus is in Nigeria already, and in other parts of Africa, and also the other parts of the world. And the World Health Organization has described it as a pandemic, so we have to stay safe. Make sure you ensure the safety tips that we earlier talked about in the program. Make sure you wash your hands, use hand sanitizers, and also if you have to cough or sneeze, use your handkerchief or tissue or something. Do not spread the virus.
And if you find yourself
sick, as much as possible.
Make sure you stay home, and if you find all of these, symptoms, make sure you consult your doctor.
Right.
Don't just take it as one small cold. It's better safe than sorry.
Right. So, it's a goodbye for now. I'm Aisha Salih.
And I'm Priscilla Adesha.